Koi CBD has been a leader in the hemp wellness space since their start in 2015. The company is family-owned and community-focused. They have an expansive product range, including broad and full-spectrum CBD products and more, in tinctures, gummies, vapes, topicals, and even CBD for pets. All of their products are third-party tested by accredited laboratories to ensure potency and purity, and lab results are posted online for consumers to access. They have over 11,000 positive reviews posted on their website. Koi products are offered at thousands of retail locations nationwide. They offer discount programs through their website for veterans, as well as a Koi Rewards loyalty program to earn discounts and a subscribe and save service. So go to koicbd.com, that's KOICBD.com, and enter discount code NOWELL, NOWELL, for 20% off a single order through the end of January 2022. Thank you so much for your support.
Hey guys, this is Jason DeVore with Authority Zero, and you're listening to Bradley's House Podcast.
Nothing is impossible, but certain things are highly improbable. Don't think I'll meet your kind again, not in this lifetime.
Hey guys, welcome back. Come on in, make yourself at home, as you should when you're a guest in Bradley's house. I am your co-host, Jarett Orr. She is the person I want to be like when I grow up. And our host, the executive director of the Knoll Family Foundation, Ms. Kellie Knoll. Kellie, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. Thank you, Jarett. How are you?
I don't know, Kellie. We're getting ready to record another episode of Bradley's House, which is one of my favorite things to do.
Yes.
I've plucked all of my kids' good Halloween candy, leaving them with nothing but Whoppers, Milk Duds, and Sugar Daddies. And the
Brilliant.
fucking McRib is back. So you tell me, how do you think I'm doing?
You're doing fabulous, I'm sure.
I couldn't be any better right now. And I am super excited to have another episode of Bradley's House to get out and to have another awesome guest. And Kellie, I'll tell you, we were talking a little bit actually before we hit the record button. I'm a huge music fan. I know you're a huge music fan. But my music, I've never been that diverse. I've kind of been stuck in my ways. Like, I know what I'm going to listen to today. Like, it's going to be 40 Ounces to Freedom, Tupac, Are You Still Down, and a 1972 live Grateful Dead show that goes on for 5 hours.
Okay, very diverse.
Yeah, so diverse, but I guess I haven't spent a lot of time digging into a lot of the bands from the genres that I enjoy. And that's something that this podcast has really kind of forced me to do. Now, a lot of the artists that we have on, I'm familiar with because they make their way into your rotation, whether it's on Spotify or YouTube, because they're from the genre that you like. But I've never really taken time to dig into them. And this podcast has caused me to do that. And today we have another band that I've been familiar with for quite a few years, but really dug into them when we started doing this podcast, because of course they're featured on the compilation album, The House That Bradley Built, available at law-records.com, with all proceeds going to the Knoll Family Foundation in hopes to get Bradley's house up and open. So
all in one breath. That was good.
Yeah, just a fun little plug there, right? It's our show. We'll do it whenever we want.
That's true. By the way, speaking of doing it whenever we want, you mentioned rating your kids' Halloween candy stash, but I'm pretty sure this episode isn't going to air for a month or two. So yeah, I just figured I'd explain the confusion there.
That's okay. And honestly, a month or two from now, I'm still going to have a good portion of that stash. So I did very well, and they did okay. So the dad tax was strong this year.
Dad tax.
There wasn't a lot of trick-or-treaters, so people were just like, here, take half my bucket, have it.
Wow.
Like, there's nobody coming around. And my kids are just like lugging pillowcases down the street. And they're like, Dad, my legs are tired. And I'm like, well, guess what? There's no free candy tomorrow, so get to the next door. Let's go. This is you get one shot at this. It's one night. So,
Oh gosh.
without any further ado,
There's been a
Kelly,
lot of ado tonight.
a lot of ado. Without any further ado, who is our house guest this week?
Well, I have to say, first of all, that I think it's great that doing this podcast has enabled you to broaden your musical horizons. And I hope it does that for a lot of people, just like the compilation album did. I heard from so many people that there were artists on there that they'd never heard, and it, allowed them to check out their music and really get into it. So hopefully this does that as well. But I have to say, I'm really spoiled because so many of the artists on the compilation, and therefore on the podcast, are artists that I've listened to for 10 years or more that I love, that my kids have grown up listening to, that are played all the time in our household. And today's artist is no exception. I am a big fan of Tomorrow's Bad Seeds, and we're super fortunate to have lead singer Juarez with us today. Moi, thank you so much for being on the show.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Fabulous. How are
Awesome,
you?
man.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, Jarett, you are a stellar personality, my friend. I was enjoying everything that I heard, and I'm gonna steal some of that stuff, like the dad tax. That is now part of my life. Now I'm gonna dad tax all my kids, dude.
You have
That's
to.
where it's at now.
I don't know if you should take parenting tips from Jarett. But
I
okay.
don't know. I think Jarett, you sound like you're awesome, and I want to hang out with you and have a beer, bro.
Well, we're
He
gonna
is
make that happen
awesome.
sometime for sure. Yeah, it's the dad tax. Listen, that Halloween costume was $52.
Right?
So there's like some serious $52, and it took 4 AA batteries. So you start adding these things up, and
Costs are rising.
yeah, you got to pay off. That's a lot of Snickers and a lot of Butterfinger. You got to pay off. So
Yeah.
it's that's how it goes, man. But
Speaking of kids, sounds like you've got one there in the background. Which one is that, Moy?
That's Zion, my littlest one, the 3-year-old.
Oh, fun. How many
Yeah.
kids do you have?
I have 3. I have a stepdaughter. She's 11. I have a 6-year-old boy named Caden, and the 11-year-old her name is Winter, and the 6-year-old is telling me that he's done in the shower, so he's trying to get me to get him. But and then Zion's 3.
Oh, fun, boy. You got your hands full.
Yeah, we do, but it's fun. I wouldn't want it any other way. You know.
Absolutely.
I love
No,
this life.
the stepdaughter, that's actually pretty awesome. I have a stepdaughter as well, and here's the beauty about stepkids, Moy, right? Is that like if she ends up like curing cancer, right? You're in the front row at that ceremony. You're clapping your hands. You're saying that's my girl, right? But
Yeah.
like if they end up like going on trial for murder, you're like, you know what? I just got there 6 months too late. If I had gotten there 6 months sooner, I might have been able. But this isn't on me. I got in the game too late, and I wish her the best. But.
Right? She's awesome. She's great.
And I'm shocked that you don't have a parenting tips podcast, Jarett.
I know
Really
you should. You're a
shocked.
funny guy, Jared. I like it.
Let me see here. Notes,
hilarious.
parenting tips, podcast. Okay. Yeah, no, I'll put it down.
Well, interestingly enough that you mentioned hanging out with Jarett, because I actually just met him for the first time in October at Reggae Rise Up Vegas. We've been doing this podcast for almost a year, and he's in upstate New York. I'm in Southern California. Anna, our producer, is in Canada. So so in October was the first time I actually got to meet Jarett face to face and hang out, and he really is awesome and hysterical.
That's
But
nice.
again,
That's beautiful triangulation right there.
right? Yeah. We're super technologically advanced here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So you're in the Southern California South Bay, right?
Yes, I live in Torrance currently now.
Nice. And you guys started Tomorrow's Bad Seeds like 20 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the idea got started in 1995 as a graffiti crew in the South Bay that one of my best friends and my best friend Metz, the guitar player in my band too, that he was a part of, and I knew them too. And that's kind of why I wanted to run with the name and do something with it. But the actual music started like in 2000, and then 2001 was when we really started playing acoustic shows, and then 2002 it kept going, and then 2007 we started touring, and the rest is history.
Wow, that's awesome. So I've had a chance to meet Metz a couple of times. I met him once at Sea Legs a couple months ago, and then I also got to see him at Reggae Rise at Vegas. Very cool guy.
Yeah, he is really the brains behind it all. I'm just the jester. Just hand me the microphone and tell me what to
That's like
sing.
me on this podcast, dude. That's
You
awesome.
know,
No wonder. Yeah, we are gonna hit it off.
I'm like, I know where I belong. I know where I get in, where I fit in, and you know, I'm accountable for what I can do. But
Uh,
the musical genius behind everything.
how did you and Mets meet?
We had a mutual friend, the same guy that was talking about the graffiti. His name is Omar Sacker. He owns a
Mm.
company called Civil Clothing, and we used to surf the breakwater and read on the beach all the time. And Metz and I were both going through breakups at the time, and he brought a guitar out to the breakwall, and we literally used to hang out there when we were kids, like for hours, and just surf. If there was
Mm.
waves, or just chill and smoke one or whatever. And he just started busting out. And I'll be real, like I had heard Sublime songs when I was younger, but I was a b-boy, so I was more into like old school breaks and like
Yeah.
hip hop, and like Wu-Tang was out back then, and I loved like Santeria and Date Rape and all the famous songs, but I didn't really get into Sublime till he played Date Rape for me at the
Wow.
beach, and I learned it without even hearing it on the record. And then that's
Wow.
kind of what really hooked me on Sublime. But I mean, I already love Sublime, because I mean, even though it's so cliche to say, I love Santeria. I love that song's bitchin' song.
Nothing cliche about that. I never get tired of hearing it.
Yeah, me neither. It's like just got such a great melody. Everything about it is awesome, and that was like, I always knew that, because I would follow a lot of straight edge punk bands when I was younger too, because I went to Maricosta, and like that's like the home of like Black Flag and Descendants and like Deviates and Pennywise and all that stuff. So I grew up on a lot of punk, but my mom's a soul singer, and so when I heard Sublime on the radio for the first time, I was like, that's the kind of shit I want to do. That's what I want to do.
Well,
Combine them
I gotta
both.
say,
Yeah.
you can feel it. I can never compare a band to Sublime, right? So
Yeah, of course not.
right off the bat, when somebody says to me, "Hey, man, you got to hear this band. They're a lot like Sublime," I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Like,
Yeah, exactly.
No, they're not. But listening to your music releases the same kind of thing in my brain, because you guys do such an amazing job at mixing so many genres in all of your songs. And like, that's something that I think, well, that's something that I know I personally really enjoy when I'm listening to music, is in one song being able to feel 2, 3, or 4 different types of genres and feels during one song. And it's funny, you said like you're a huge Wu-Tang fan, and
Yeah.
like hip hop. Obviously, I grew up in Philadelphia. I was a huge hip hop fan, a huge Wu-Tang fan. But you look at the things that even influence them, like Method Man, which was one of their first big
Artists,
singles,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And when he did the song Method Man, people asked him where the inspiration came from. Now here is a big, strong guy from the projects
New York,
in
yeah.
New York, and he steals the spelling, the METHOD. That's from a Hall and Oates song, Method of Love, which they spell out the words Method of Love. And he heard that, and that's where he got that from. And his hook is from the Beatles, Come Together. That is the inspiration from I got the. It was just like, so to hear that, like Wu-Tang, like, how the fuck does Method Man come across Hall and Oates? But
I'm gonna listen to that again like that in both now, because I never knew that, and that just blew my mind. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's it. So when I'm listening to you guys, I can feel all those. You can feel the real strong reggae rooted at times, and you can feel the R&B, and you guys do such a, or excuse me, the hip hop especially. And then there's times where that ska kicks in almost. And there's just you guys do such a good job at hitting all of the feels through your songs, and I think that that's something that's not easy to do. There's people that attempt to do it, and it feels forced, but it feels natural with you guys.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do, because I got a lot of that influence from Sublime too, and just taking something that we love and paying homage to it, and not obviously recreating it because it's already been done, but like taking the juice from it and squeezing the lemon a little harder and getting some more.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, so as you know, as we're looking at who the guests are going to be, and we've been trying to get together with you for a little while. Your schedule's been crazy, our schedule's been crazy, but I really dove deep into your catalog and into tomorrow's Bad Seeds music, and it's I was like, wow, out of a lot of the bands that are out there, they really nail this sound of all of these different mixes, and it feels natural. And
I
it,
like to
you know,
call it. I like to call it punk Rasta vibes.
oh,
Awesome. I like
I
that.
like that. Yeah.
Very cool. I think when I first discovered you guys, the Early Prayers album was really big. And that was the one my kids and I got into right at the start. Lost and Found, Vices, Heartless. I think Gunslinger was on that album too.
Yeah,
Such
yeah.
good tracks. Just a lot of really solid music. Not just then, but of course through the years. And so, yeah, you guys have done an amazing job. And has it always been the same guys, or have you had different guys in the band?
We've changed up. The first 7 years were the same guys, and then we had a little hiccup with people on the road, and they couldn't hang. My old original bass player, which happened to be a uncle to Metz, and our original drummer was Metz's cousin Johnny.
Oh, wow.
And just to throw the real story out there, I never really wanted Johnny to be the drummer. He kind of like just freaking made himself the drummer, and then he did great, and it was cool, and it worked out well. But when we started like getting more notoriety and more pressure, both those guys couldn't handle it pretty much.
Mm,
Like, and there was a lot of drinking, a lot of drugs, and like it's just not my bass player, but the other guy. They
yeah.
just couldn't handle on the road, and it was difficult. So we had to make a switch there, and then we had a solid lineup after that with our new bass player Andre. They used to play in Third Alley, if you know who Third Alley is,
Yes, I
and
do.
he played in Third Alley, and they went on tour with us at the same time. Our bass player, he was a little older, like I said, he was an uncle by marriage to those other guys in the band, and
Uh-huh.
he realized he didn't want to tour because he had a longshoreman job too, so he wanted to make money,
Oh,
and we
yeah.
wanted to get on the road, And Sally Knobs was our manager at the time, and she got us on the road with
Oh,
Josh Fischel on our first time. It was us,
nice.
Josh Fischel. Check this out. It was us opening full band the way that we are. Then it was Third Alley opening after that, with which Dre, our old bass player, was in that band at the time. He wasn't with us yet. And then Josh Fischel closing out every night acoustic. It was rad.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
so
awesome.
that's how Dre got in the band, because it was this quick turnover. And then our drummer made a couple of really dumb decisions. Like, he got us really in trouble at a couple of clubs, like by giving underage girls drinks. And
Oops.
so, yeah, so we kind of, after that, we just couldn't have that kind of liability. And Dre introduced us to a really good drummer named Pat, who's with us now, and that was the lineup up until 2012. And then 2012, things fell apart because of some crazy shit that we can get into if you guys are down, because I'm not scared. But my old guitar player Sean, his dad, got into some crazy lawsuit stuff, and he was lying to us, saying that he like I don't know if you remember when we went from Bad Seeds to a project called Life.
No.
So we started another project called Life, Life, and it was because we met somebody on Warped Tour, and they said they love our sound, they love our look, blah blah blah, blah, but the name's too close to Nick Cave and all this other shit. And we're like, oh, whatever.
Mm.
So, we listened to them, and we decided to go a different route. But it was really in conjunction with my guitar player Sean Chapman's dad, Greg Chapman. He was embezzling money from all these people in the South Bay area,
Oh,
and he stole
no.
$11 million.
Oh,
And
my
we didn't I
gosh.
didn't I didn't find this out till 2 years ago, because that's when everything kind of dissolved. And then he was the money at the time, and we didn't have any control. Like, I still don't have control of my first 3 records.
Oh, no.
I'm trying to find my old guitar player and subpoena him, because his dad's in prison for 30 years right now
Whoa.
for embezzling from people. $11 million. Him and two other guys ran a Ponzi scheme on
Oh,
older people and
man.
took yeah, it's really bad vibes when I think about it. But that's why everything dissolved at that time, because we were fucking right there at a super high pinnacle, and they wanted us to change our name and our whole everything. And at first I fought it
Oh.
big time. We were supposed to do our third record with Lewis Richards, and I
Oh,
really wanted
yeah.
I was super looking forward to that. And then we had a meeting all of a sudden with this guy, which is a really cool guy. He's really talented as well. His name's Damon Elliott. He is Dionne Warwick's son.
Oh,
He did
wow.
he did Pink's platinum album. He's the producer who did Pink's only platinum album she's ever had. And so they sold us, the guy that we met, Michael Choi, he sold us on him, and we went that route. And I didn't want to go that route. I was fighting it, but they're like, oh, what, you just you're just unhappy, you know, blah, blah. I'm like, nah, dude, I'm like, this is bullshit, blah, but then, you know, you don't bite the hand that feeds you type of shit. So
Yeah.
I went along with it. And then when he was really getting in trouble, we wanted to move over with Kevin Zinger, and I wanted Kevin Zinger to be our manager, or to try a real management, because we've never still had a real manager. I still don't have one, you know. And
Wow.
I just fired everybody and everything. I'm doing everything independent now, like booking and everything. We're doing it all ourselves now. As of a year
Nice.
ago, I got out of my record contract, which was a cool one, but it was more of a licensing deal. But that being said, his dad totally screwed us over. You know what I mean?
I'm so sad to hear that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, you know. And like, but I'm trying to talk to SoundScan and figure stuff out, because we literally, since 2012, we've gotten zero for early prayers for my second record and my third record. This last record that I put out
Whoa.
myself is the only one that we monetize or are able to live off of a little bit. But you know, it's part of the game, and you learn, and you know, you want things to be done. You think you trust people, and you know, you gotta, you know, be smarter. But we went to go with Regime, and that's when everything hit the fan, and that's when we realized like something's up, you know. And then they kind of skedaddled and like bounced. But the last conversation he had with me is like, you ain't ever gonna do shit. You ain't gonna be able to maintain this band. It's gonna fall apart. You're just gonna be a local band still, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, bro, fucking watch me, dude. You're gonna tell me I'm gonna what?
Yeah.
And so, you know, and I just, you know, we just kept going. And now I've been handling it for the last 5 years. That was like 5 years ago when that happened.
Wow.
And the final straw hit. And then we found out 2 years ago that he's in fucking prison.
Wow.
It's crazy. And this is the first time
story.
It's the first time I've ever told this story on something like this. But I don't care. I want Sean Chapman, if you ever hear this, I want you to know, dude, you should be righteous and be fair, and you know, because he's reaping all the benefits off of all the stuff that me and Metz wrote.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, there's definitely a dark side to the music business that we don't always hear about or see.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad you guys have come through all of that, and you know.
Yeah, I really don't give a shit anymore. I'm all about going up, but I mean, if I can resolve some stuff, which I'm trying to do it, I want to.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I'm not
got
gonna
me fired up right now.
Well, he's lucky that we don't do it the old school Long Beach way, you know.
I'm fired up right now. This is like it's awful that you had to go through something like that, but you said some things that, you know, I think a lot of listeners should take in and take heed to. One of the first things that you said that kind of stuck out to me was, yeah, you know, he had a job and he wanted to make money, so he didn't go on the road. Because I think a lot of times people think like, oh man, you got a YouTube page, you're playing some concerts, you're living on the tour bus and having,
you're living the dream, baby.
Yeah, you're a musician, and that's just not the way that it is. And another unfortunate fact is, like you said, you know, you've got albums and music that you wrote and poured your heart into that you can't monetize. And
there's millions of streams on those songs. One of them has 6 million streams. Another one has 3 million. On my first record has all kinds. So it's not a lot of money, but something should be coming in, and he's reaping all the benefits right now. And we've talked, and he acted like he was going to do the right thing, and he hasn't. So I have a lawyer that I'm working with to try to work on it. And eventually, if I find out where he lives, which I'm working on too, I'm going to have him served.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's all good. Like I was
served legally, not served the Long Beach way. Just
yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be a legal serving, because we're grown folk now, and that's how we handle that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And like I said, I was bitter before, and I was upset, and I still talk about it like that. But really, I'm over it. I don't care. I'm successful. I'm doing well. I love my family. I'm still maintaining the band better than I even thought that I would. And I know people know what they're gonna get when they get me. You know, like I get in where I fit in. If you want me, I'm here. If I'm not, I ain't going anywhere. You know, I mean, it is what it is. You know, that's why I feel like I don't need a booking agent or a real manager just yet, unless he's a real person that wants to really take us into a different realm, and they have different connects. Because this scene is such a niche scene. I already know everybody. If people want me, they'll directly hit me up. You know.
Right. For sure. So the album that you do have control over, is that Illuminate, or was it after that?
No, it's Illuminate. Yeah. And then I have a whole bunch of cool shit that I've been working on, even a solo project of just like hip hop type, Far Side sounding hip hop reggae type shit, like 5 songs that I did with Denim. You know Denim, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it with Denim over the pandemic, and I should have released a couple of them, but I was waiting to get out of my contract, and I finally got out of it. So I'm working on now. I go to the studio. I go to Kona Town on Monday and Tuesday. I'm gonna work on some more stuff and get ready for a release.
Oh, right on.
I think it's crazy. A common thing in the music business is you hear when people are coming up and they're they're playing shows, backyards, little tiny bars. All they're trying to do is get into a record deal, and then once they have one, you hear all they're trying to do is get out of their record deal.
So true.
Well, it was a funny thing the way the whole thing started because, even the vision that I had for the music industry, I was ahead of my time because I was thinking back then how you should be thinking now. Like even Sting is a perfect example. He never had a manager. He managed himself, and in his era, it was harder to do, I would say. But in this era, it's not. Even if you have a pretend email that goes to your email, like I have info at LA Bad Seeds, that's me. You want to hit me up, there it is. You know what I mean? And I don't have to, I can pretend like I'm somebody else or I can do whatever I want, but it's at your fingertips now. You know what I mean? Like booking agencies need to get with the program and realize like there's not going to be an exclusivity anymore. If I don't see the future of the music industry being exclusive to just the artists. The artists have the control, and if they're hot, they're going to want to work with whoever they want to work with and pay out whoever they want to pay out.
Yeah,
You know
when I can just get in your DMs personally,
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
I don't need to go through a management company or a manager.
And then money talks, like when people ask me if I want to do a show, if I don't know you, and I hate that I'm even saying this online, but I don't care. If I don't know you and I don't think you're legit or I don't think you're serious about what's going on or like what you're trying to do, I'll straight say, they say, how much you think for you? All 15K. So if they say, yeah, they're serious and let's work. And then I'll do my part for sure. If it's a homie deal, that's way different. I'll do all kinds of deals. I'll do backyard boogies still. I don't care. I do it all. That's how I support my family. So there's no shame in my game when it comes to performing. I'll do it on the street. I'll busk. I'll do, I'm still old school. I don't care about that stuff. But like I said, when there's people that are, like wolfing all these tickets and so much smoke has been blown up my ass my entire career. So it's just like, here comes another train. I see it coming. Am I going to stand in front of it or derail it, or whatever? But, just that's my favorite now. And I just started doing that recently. People ask me how much. I'm like, 20K. Oh, shit. Oh, they get all scared. I'm like, cool, then later. Stop. Don't waste my fucking time.
That's the way to do it. I mean, at some point you have to believe in what you're doing enough that you're willing to put yourself out there and just go for it. And I think that's awesome. It sounds like you've got that attitude and that mentality.
The confidence, and I'm not trying to be arrogant or anything. It's just I know what I have to offer. And if you want me, I'm here. If you don't, that's totally fine too. Nothing personal. I totally understand. But I do have something to give, and I feel like I'm a good performer, and I love what I do. And I still get the jitters every time I get on stage, whether it's a small crowd or a huge crowd. And until that goes away, I'm going to do this till I die.
Yeah, that's awesome. You've really grown up in this industry, clearly. Yep. I mean, 20 years doing this, you learn a few things. And to me, it just it's like the difference between, when you're younger and how you kind of view life versus when you get older and things change. And it sounds like you really brought that into your career, into the music industry. That's great.
You know how it is. You get older, you don't have time for bullshit anymore.
Exactly.
And like, I love everybody and life is the mission and love is the message. But, there's so many snakes in the grass and I can spot them now and I can see them now. And I don't let nobody in unless they really can show me that they want to work. My work ethic is really high and I don't ever show it out there to people to what I really do, but I don't just do Bad Seeds anymore. I have 2 other businesses that I run. I have a clothing store that I used to share with other brands, but now I just did a remodel and it's going to be at the beginning of the year. I'm doing a Tomorrow's Bad Seeds clothing store in San Pedro with a rehearsal spot, and it's going to be a little mini spot. We can do podcasting there if you want to too, or we can do art shows or whatever. It's 405 6th Street in San Pedro, and I'm just working on a lot of stuff. I own a mattress warehouse with my dad. I just bought a third-party shipping business in Redondo Beach called Box Brothers, 2302 Redondo Artesia Boulevard, and I'm just trying to, I need 7 streams of income, baby.
There you go. You're halfway there at least, right?
I'm trying to get that mill. Yeah, exactly. But it's just the work ethic, it's like, that's why even I felt so bad when I kept like botching with you guys because, I don't know if you remember, but you sent me a message a long time ago on Facebook. And that message really touched me. It was about our music and stuff. I don't know if you do remember, but you sent me, and I was like, especially, and I hate to, drop the name because people like to always stray away from, but you're fucking Brad's sister. You know what I mean? Like that shit meant so much to me at that time. That was like maybe 10 years ago. You did that, maybe 8 years ago, and like, that shit was like really touching me. Like, fuck, okay. And I'm not gonna lie, I can almost remember right now that when I read that message, I was feeling, because that's what happens a lot of times. You know, you don't know what you're accomplishing as a musician. You don't know who you're
Right.
touching, who you're reaching, if you're making a difference, if you're changing anything.
Sure.
You know, you get caught in your own wants and needs and your own ego sometimes. You know, and so I remember reading that message and being in a because you know we all go through it, but being more in a depressed place. Like, fuck, man, am I doing the right thing? Should I keep doing this?
Yeah.
Should I even keep playing music? You know, because you know how the scene is. It's so niche. You know, it's like
Yeah.
who's hot, who's hot. And I'll be real. I'm not gonna name no names, but some of the hot people should not be hot. You know,
It
they're not doing anything
happens.
special. They're just
Yeah.
doing monotonous shit. It's like, okay, you know, it's a lot of reverb and echo. Cool. Where's your switches? Where's your change? Where's your time signature? Where's your up tempo? Where's your drop? You know, dynamics. But you know, that being said, when you sent me that message, I was like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I'm on a good path. I'm good. So just keep going.
I'm so
You know?
I'm
glad.
having a lot of fun right now.
Yeah. I just keep it real, baby. I'm over the bullshit and I have nothing to hide anymore, you know?
Love that. That's fantastic.
You're like the real life warrior poet. Like your song. Like I'm listening to it right now and I'm like, this is he is a warrior.
Yeah, going through it, you know, like now I have kids, so nothing's gonna stop me now from just at least continuing the motion, you know?
Don't say that. Like you don't have you stepped on a Lego yet in bare feet?
Hell yeah, bro.
That'll
Shit.
stop you.
Bro, how
Yeah, I
about
don't.
when they jump on your nuts, dude? That's the worst.
Yeah,
You're like, really, man? Like, come on.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, you can break a bar stool over my back in a bar fight, and I'm gonna keep charging. One Lego, one of those little yellow 2-piece Legos, right under the ball of my foot, and I'm to my knees, begging. I just cannot believe that this is something that is happening right now.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's but I understand what you mean. But never underestimate a kid being able to stop you from doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are on the bill for Cali Vibes coming up in
Yes. We're on
February.
Saturday. I believe we're playing Saturday.
I'm super excited for that. And of course, Wu-Tang Clan is playing.
I
Have you seen them
know.
before?
So, yeah. I
Okay.
used to be a professional b-boy. I used to break dance in the scene back in the day, like LA Breakers, West Coast Rockers. So I did
Oh
all
my
that
gosh.
hip hop
That's
shit.
phenomenal.
Yeah, that's what gave me the confidence to sing in front of people.
Wow.
I've always sang. My mom sings. It's in my blood. Like I've never taken lessons or anything. Music is just embedded in my grandmother and my mom and all her
Oh.
sisters, and they're just all phenomenal singers. You know, I'm like not even good compared to them. But
Wow.
b-boying and battling and being in circles and like having that aggressive nature of like wanting
Yeah.
like, because when you're in a circle, if you don't jump in, someone just took your spot and they're now they
Right.
got the floor.
So,
Yeah.
Moy, let me ask you: do you have Hulu?
Oh, I have it all.
All right. So, have you watched the
Sucks.
Wu-Tang Saga? Have you watched the Wu-Tang Saga yet on Hulu?
I have not watched that. I did watch that stupid Wu-Tang show. It wasn't stupid, but on Netflix, like the real Wu-Tang fighting kind of one. But I haven't seen the Saga one.
All
On
right.
Hulu.
So
I didn't even know it was
listen.
on there, but I'll watch
So
it.
listen. You hop on Hulu now. This advice goes for everybody that's listening, but it's legitimately not only because I'm a huge Wu-Tang and hip hop fan, so I liked it because of that, but it's such an amazing story, and it's like to see the inspiration of what RZA went through to get them together and to get the music out and everything that it took and to get the record deals, and nobody wanted them and they kept pounding the pavement and calling the radio station. I mean, it's so especially for a musician who's going through that and has gone through that and can feel that, that's something that you're going to want to check out, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch it. I didn't even know it was on Hulu because I only watch a couple of things on Hulu because we share with a couple of family members. We all shared like Hulu, the freaking Google Plus, all that crap, dude. There's so many freaking streaming things. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Is right. I replaced my cable with a bunch of streaming services, and then I realized that I was spending way more money. But my kids, when they're at my house, I actually have regular cable now. They have all the streaming stuff at their mom's house. When they're at my house, they're like, "What the fuck are these things that keep interrupting the show?" And I'm like, "Oh, those are commercials." And then they just become like hypes for everything. They're like, holy shit, Dad, can we go to McDonald's? I want to get that Play-Doh thing. You know, and I'm just like, oh my God, go back on your iPad. So
Yeah,
it's
the worst is though when they watch those videos, like the unveiling of wrapping of gifts. Oh my God! Like
my
when they're
kids.
like, "Oh, this toy," it's like, "Oh my God!"
My kids went through that. My kids also watched other kids play video games. Like
Yeah, it's like,
they would just sit and watch other kids play video games, and I'm just like, what is happening right now? Like, it's so yeah, that's become a thing. Playing video games, like being a video game streamer, is okay. So the other night I turned on ESPN at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and there's a show on that there's actually like a professional league of people that play Madden football. And I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. And they pull it up, and they're like, RG Smooth from Baltimore. His Madden League record is 32-14. Career earnings $313,907.
I know it's
No.
wild. Yeah,
And I'm just like, what the fuck? Are you
I
like,
got friends that play for money too.
Whoa.
what
I
am
got a
I
couple
doing with
friends.
my life?
One of my friends is like 13 in that league. He's like number
Whoa.
13. He makes bank.
That's crazy.
So at the end of that very episode, they're like, okay, today we've got this guy versus that guy, $40,000 on the line, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah,
What?
it's crazy.
So yeah, it's certainly times are changing all around for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Right now, anything's possible. It feels like.
So
Yeah, that's a
what's
good
going?
thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So what's going on with tomorrow's Bad Seeds right now?
So I just got out of our deal, and I love the regime. It was nothing personal. I just felt like I want to try something independent, and they got to keep that record and still license it for an extra 3 years. So they get 5 more years on that. It was a 5-year deal, I believe, initially, and now it became a 7-year deal, which is cool, or 8-year deal, which is cool. I'm not tripping on that, But I'm just want to release some music and get some good shows. Unfortunately, it's hard for me to tour right now because one of my baby's moms try to take my kid away to Washington, and so it's
Oh
hard
my
for me
gosh.
it's really hard for me to get on the road for a long time. But we're doing a lot of weekend warrior stuff, and then the week that I don't have him, I do a lot of stuff, and then whenever she lets me know way ahead of time when her vacation days are going to be, and I try to do that. But I'm working on right now, hopefully getting a little East Coast tour going out next summer. Definitely going to be doing California every other weekend, all over the place, and Idaho, Colorado, all the stuff that's right here. But I'll be real, like Midwest and like the full East Coast, we might do like New York and Jersey and Florida and like the beach side. But I've done it already. I've done all the hard, all the hard touring, and I just want to be smart now. And just take what I really want to do and let things go and let other people have opportunities that might be coming my way because I don't want to do them anymore. And just really what I want to do to answer the question is I want to make good music, man. That's what we're working on right now, is making some really good new music that we can release independently. Like I said, we have a clothing store about to open up at the beginning of the year, and just staying active as much as we can and just letting people know that we're still in the scene. I definitely really want to just stay in the festival scene is what I want to do. Just festivals.
There's so many good ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot to choose from.
I'd love to get on Reggae Rise Up. We used to do it before. We were supposed to do it before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit. And I was on my way to Japan for my first time from Guam, and they returned. We had to come back. And after that, so yeah, 2020 was going to be my first real international year. Almost every show that I had booked was going to be international. After that, I had pretty much Argentina and Brazil and Peru and Colombia.
Oh, wow.
And then I was working at that time. I was working on trying to get to the UK from that. After that, so that was going to be like the whole year. It's going to be. We did Hawaii, Guam. It was going to be Japan, and I was trying to get New Zealand, but that didn't happen. And then we were going to go South America for like a good 3 weeks to a month, and then I wanted to go to the UK, but obviously that all fell apart. And during that time is when I went to court for my son, and she tried to like move him to Washington and stuff, and I had to fight that. And now I'm just maintaining, but I'm very blessed.
Wow.
I feel lucky for everything I got going on regardless. And you could always feel like you have it hard, but someone else has always got it harder than you.
Yeah, and life is seasons. You go through
Yes, exactly.
some winters and then some summers and then little in between times. But the tough times really make you appreciate the good times, because it
Yeah,
always comes back around. Things never
yeah,
stay shitty forever.
yeah.
They eventually
And
get a little better, and you can appreciate them then.
the music business is just such a roller coaster,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, you guys covered Get Out for the house that Bradley built, the compilation
Yes.
album. Did you guys choose that, or was it suggested for you?
It was suggested. If I had my way, I would have done Santeria.
Oh, really?
I
Because
honestly,
you guys
I would have done a
killed
lot of
Get
them, but
Out.
yeah, but I know all. But now I know all Sublime, dude. I mean, I'll do a whole Sublime set if you want me to. I mean,
Nice. I
I
would love
love it.
that.
I love freaking. Takes her time when it's time to get ready.
Mm-hmm.
Always toss her away. Like all those
All
songs,
right,
like
yeah.
I mean, Pool Shark. Even though, like, I really what I wanted to do though, the one that I wanted to do was Santeria. I really wanted that one, but they suggested that one, and then I saw the Movement did the same, and we just was like, okay, that's kind of weird, but I don't care. I love that I even got to be a part of it. This shit is low key a bucket list blessing.
Oh, I
Like,
loved your cover, and even some of the songs that there were multiple covers of. Everyone gave it such a different feel and
yeah,
such a different
exactly.
flavor that it didn't even matter. I mean, it was the same song, but a completely different vibe, and
hmm
so I loved it. I was really excited to have you guys
And
be
on
part of
top
that
of it,
project.
Josh Fischel got to do that one too before.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I was like super stoked because he was a huge influence and help in the beginning of our career. And after he died, we were on tour at the time, so we didn't get to make it to his funeral like that.
Oh,
And I was
wow.
super bummed out about it. But to get to do the same song he did, it was like, I just felt good. Felt like it did.
Yeah. Felt
It definitely
right.
makes you guys, yeah, and you guys having all of us they're involved in this project with you guys definitely makes us feel part of the Sublime family.
Yeah. Well, and really, I mean, there's so many people that that are a part of it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's not just one band, it's not just one thing, but it's the
exactly.
entire community, and especially where
hmm
we are now, 25 years later, to see how far things have come and how the community has grown. I think it's just incredible.
He's the Godfather.
He is.
He really is.
That's so funny to think
He
of him
paved,
like that, but
he
you're
paved the
right.
way for us. He paved the way for us.
Yeah, yeah, he did. He would trip out on that. He really would.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
it makes sense. He earned it. And I'll tell you, Kelly's right. You guys did such an amazing. The thing that I always loved about Get Out is that Brad has this amazing voice. I mean, he really has this phenomenal singing voice. And it's such a fucked up song, but he sings it so nice and so sweet. If you're not listening to the words, if you're, I mean, like, it could be playing in an elevator. It's just like
hmm
this. But then when you listen to it, and you guys just like nailed that.
Yeah,
You guys, it was like just this really classy music that, the composition of the music that you guys put together was just incredible. And the vocals on it were, nailed that
fabulous.
same kind of feeling.
That
Um,
soulfulness, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it's like, fine. I mean, if I gotta stay with a hoe, I gotta stay with a hoe. What am I gonna do? I gotta live somewhere. Fuck. But like, you guys have like violins and stuff going, and
Yeah, the end was like more of an
it's
orchestra at the end. It was sick.
Yeah.
yeah, it was just that you guys nailed the whole vibe of that song.
Thank you.
If I
Gotta,
gotta
I gotta
stay
give a
with the
shout out
hoe.
to I gotta give a shout out to Jeff Bates and Jeff Neeson over at Kona Town for
They're
putting those
amazing.
vibes together. Yeah, Jeff Bates is fucking phenomenal. Jeff Neeson is as well too. He played with Bad Seeds for a while too, and I've known him since before I'm on one of his songs when he was in a band called Sand Section. But Jeff Bates is a very special engineer, special musician, vocalist. He's just the whole package. He's amazing.
Yeah, they don't mess around over there at Kona Town. That's
Nope.
good stuff.
He gets everything done too, man. He works his ass off. I've been there before where we're there till 5 in the morning and he's doing
Wow.
mixes for you guys and doing mix for that. And then he's jumping back to my thing to clear his ears. And like, it's just, yeah, he goes all the way in.
Wow. Yeah, good people too.
Yeah. Great people.
Right on. So you've got the clothing store and slash studio that's going to be opening early next year.
Yeah. It'll be hopefully, I mean, I'm already going to kind of do soft openings probably the first Thursday of next month, but it'll be fully open at least 3 days a week down there in San Pedro in January. So the
Awesome.
address is 405 West 6th Street, San Pedro.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then we're gonna be doing like small little acoustic performances and maybe spoken word things and just stuff for the community too.
Right on. So how can people make sure to stay on top of what's happening there? Do you have any socials for it yet?
We don't have any socials for it yet. You'll find out through Tomorrow's Bad Seeds. Now we are working on everything. That's what I'm working on. Trying to have a real good PR launch for the entire band by next year with songs. My whole plan is to try to release a new song every month. That's how I feel it should be done from now on. And I mean, if I was a huge artist like Sublime or like, freaking, Wu-Tang or something like that, I'd be putting out a brand new song out every month,
Yeah,
regardless. And just
that's
that's
great.
you would kill it that way if you did it, like Eminem. If
Yeah,
Eminem released a brand new song every month, imagine that.
yeah. Yeah, and it would stay like right in the forefront of everybody's minds too, which
Exactly.
you
And
were
the
talking about. There's
relevancy.
different, exactly, because there's different artists that are hot at different times, but when you're constantly releasing something, then your fans always have something to look forward to, and they're always
and
dialing in.
that's what I'm working for right now. So I'm stacking up songs so I can just release videos and songs and lyric videos and get that going.
Awesome. Well, this episode will probably, I think it's going to air the end of December. So hopefully if you have any, links or information stuff that you want us to shout out for the new store, the studio, any of that kind of stuff, be sure to let us know. We can make sure to let everybody know, because I'm sure when everyone hears this, that's going to be the first thing they want to know is, how do we find it? How do we hear about what's going on?
Yeah, we're definitely gonna do all that stuff. It was
And
already kind of set up like that before. It's just I was the owner of the shop still and everything, but I don't like to glorify myself. And like when I do these interviews, sometimes I feel like I'm being egotistical when I talk and shit. And it's not really me, but it's
you
time to
have
start,
to be, though.
it's
You got to
exactly, it's
promote.
time to start. Yeah, it's time to start stepping out of my comfort zone and being more like, yo, check me out. Look what I've been doing.
Yeah, it's tough. It's an awkward thing, but people want to know. People want to hear about it, and if you don't tell them, they'll never know.
Because there's a thin line, between cringy and like, oh, that's dope.
Yes,
Well, but the
yes,
thing is,
that's true.
you guys have been around for a long time. You've had millions of streams. You've played on big festivals. You've earned the right to kind of be like, "Hey, my shit's hot. Check it out."
Yeah,
Right? Like,
I agree.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because you've proven it. Sometimes you see people posting on social and stuff, and they talk about how great they are, and I'm like, well, you got 39 followers and 2 songs posted. I'm sure you're gonna get there, but you've put the work in, and
Yeah,
you've earned the opportunity to be a little bit braggadocious. So I don't blame you.
Yeah, I'm learning how to cope with that and accept it.
nice. Well, we're definitely looking forward to seeing you at Cali Vibes in February, if not
Yeah,
sooner.
yeah.
And if anybody wants to check out what's going on with the band, your website is labadseeds.com, right?
Correct. Or just on our Instagram is where we're really super avid on that. I'm not too much on our Facebook, though I should be, because every time I go on there, it's like maybe only once or twice a week, and I'm like, holy shit, I have like 10 messages I need to answer and all this other stuff. So I need to be more on top of that. But like I said, I just kind of we got all cleared of all our staff and everybody who's working for us. And now we're fully independent. So I'm trying to rebuild. And I
Right
appreciate
on.
all you guys' support and everybody who supported us throughout the years. I'm really, blessed and grateful. And like our new saying is like, life is the mission and love is the message. And we're just so happy that we get to convey this message to the people.
That's awesome. And with that attitude and with the great music you guys put out, you'll always have a following. And so keep up the great work.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And then we'll see you guys at Cali Vibes.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Look forward to it, and I like that. I like that quote. Life is the mission, and love is the message. Is that how it goes?
Yes, that's how it goes. Life is
Yeah,
the
except
mission
for
and
you,
love is the
Sean.
message.
Fuck you, man. We already addressed that. But
Yeah,
for
exactly.
everybody else, that's the message here. So I like that, man, and I look forward to seeing you at Cali Vibes in February.
Yeah, man. I would look forward to putting a face to the voice.
Oh, I'm much better looking over the podcast. Trust me.
Yeah. Me too, buddy. Me too.
Good. All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this. It was really a fun chat with you.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys, and all the great work you guys are doing for people, and helping people get off of drugs and stuff. That's awesome.
Thank
Because
you
we
so
all
much.
struggled with that. We definitely, even my bandmates, we all during the peak of our careers when we were super into the party zone, we all did shit, and
Yeah.
luckily we all were able to handle it and get over it and be good, and everybody's clear now. But
Awesome.
we need people like this to be aware and help them get over their addictions and struggles, because you can't do it by yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, it's such a common thing. And I think the more we can remind people that it's something that, a lot of people struggle with and nothing to be ashamed of, then maybe more people
Exactly.
can get the help they need. And so, yeah, we're stoked to be a part of that.
That's the first step, admitting to it,
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Moy. I wish you guys all the best, and I look forward to seeing you soon at a show.
Thank you guys too. It's so nice talking to you guys, and look forward to seeing you guys too. You guys take care.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
All right, man.
Say bye, Kaden.
Bye.
Kelly, once again, you set up a amazing guest. I really had a lot of fun with Moy. I didn't really know what to expect. They did an awesome cover for the house that Bradley built, but getting to chat with him and just all of the different things that he's involved in and their amazing story. And that's one of the things I love about this podcast is it never ceases to amaze me.
I agree. In fact, I was just thinking about that as the Jason DeVore episode came out last week, 2 weeks ago? And just how, I've been listening to his music for so long, and it was so great to see that he's such a nice guy. Same thing with Moy. I've been listening to Tomorrow's Bad Seeds for at least 10 years, almost 10 years, somewhere around 10 years, and have never met him. And it was just so great to see that he's just a really great guy besides being a great musician. So yeah, that's something I've really been enjoying about the podcast as well.
Yeah. So, guys, if you're listening to this and you are not familiar with Tomorrow's Bad Seeds, make sure you check them out. Kelly, I know you've got some website. You got all the information.
I do have all the information.
You always do.
Because I'm prepared.
What would I do without you?
Because I'm super prepared. Their website is labadseeds.com. So make sure to check them out on there. Of course, they're on social media. I know they're going to be at Cali Vibes, which I'm super stoked to see them at Cali Vibes. Of course, we'll be there with a booth. And of course, just a reminder, Moy was talking about that clothing store and studio that they're going to be opening up in San Pedro on 6th Street. That's supposed to be opening early 2022. So I'm super excited for that. Can't wait to see what he does with it. It's so great how he's got so many things going. Very, very entrepreneurial, lots of great ideas. And, I always say you have to start doing things. You got to be moving. You got to be going in the direction in order for things to happen. And it's obvious why things are happening for Moy and Tomorrow's Bad Seeds, because they're going after it.
Yeah, he's not leaving any meat on the bone. He's going after all of it. And I like that. You got to have a lot of layers. So,
like an onion.
Just like an onion. It was really cool having him on, and we hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed doing it. Again, guys, you know exactly why we're here each week. Of course, it's because Kelly and I like to have awesome conversations with all these different amazing people, but it's also to spread the word about the Knoll Family Foundation, and
yes.
You can find them at the knollfamilyfoundation.org, or you can just kind of scroll down in the description and just right there, Anna will have a link set up, and you can click on the link tree. It'll get you to all things Knoll Family Foundation. Obviously, the donations go a long way so we can get Bradley's house up and built. Knoll Family Foundation is going to be out at Cali Vibes, selling T-shirts and just doing all sorts of cool things. And Moy's going to be, I think pretty much everybody that we've had on this show is going to be at Cali Vibes.
Just about. It's going to be quite a show.
Quite a show indeed. So make sure you visit the knollfamilyfoundation.org. Wherever you're listening to this podcast, go ahead, leave a comment, a like, share. It goes a long way. Kelly and I see them all, and it means so much to us. And Kelly, I had a lot of fun. This has been a really cool year. It's winding down, and I've mentioned it before. I'm going to keep mentioning it. I can't believe that it's going to finally be February 22nd, 2022. I feel like I've been waiting my entire life for 2/22/22, and it's 6 years ago I was talking about 2/22/22, and people were like, "Yeah, okay, what?" And now I'm staring right at it. It's right there.
It'll be there.
It is right there. Yes, I am very excited about 2022 and all of the amazing things going on with the Knoll Family Foundation and, of course, the Bradley's House podcast. Now, Kelly, every week we leave with another amazing song, and no-brainer what this week's is, right?
Absolutely. This week, I'm super stoked for everybody to hear tomorrow's Bad Seeds cover of Get Out.
Really an awesome cover. I like this one.
It
I
is.
like
They
it a
did a
lot.
fantastic job.
All right, guys. Until next week, I'm Jarett Orr. She is Kelly Noel. We are out of time. You don't have to go home, but it's time to get out of Bradley's house.